Good morning, my dearest friends. Today I am going to continue the story The Rat Trap, part 3rd. Means some of the paragraphs I have already explained, some are still left. So I am just going to continue the story and I am reading now the text lines, and according to need of the explanation and reference, I will just try to give you the explanation. Naturally, the first thing he saw, actually before this we have done that uh, the vagabond, okay, the rat trappers has taken shelter in a furnace, okay, in a forge, and the owner of that iron mills was on his nightly visit. So finally he reached at the same forge where he has sheltered, and after that we are just going to have from here. Naturally, the first thing he saw refers to the iron master, the mill owner, was the tall ragamuffins. Means ragamuffins refers to the very torn out, okay, very rag clothes, okay, worn out clothes, who had eased his way so close to the furnace that steam rose from his wet rags. And now the man who has taken shelter, means the vagabond, now he has uh, uh, set himself, okay, and closed himself near the furnace, and after that he was now sweating. This shows that now he was now feeling comfortable, okay, his body has been warm up. The iron master did not follow the example of the blacksmiths, who had hardly deigned to look at the strangers, but the iron master did not ignore. He looked at the, the vagabond, the rat trappers, but the blacksmith did not notice because it was a natural thing, okay, everyday work. Every day this kind of vagabonds used to visit in forge and furnace, so for him it was natural. So he was not going to notice the vagabonds, okay, and allowed without any word that you may have sit here and just warm up your body. Would hardly deign to look at the stranger. He walked close up to him, looked him over every carefully. Means the master was looking him, very carefully, inspecting him, who was actually the man who was sitting, okay, then tore off his slouch hat to get a better view of his face. Means he was just trying to find out who is the man sitting there. He wanted to find out that who is the man, and that's why he just put off the cap of the strangers for the better view. But of course, it is you, Niels, aloof. This was his misunderstanding. He thought that the man who is in rags, the man who is in a very, dilapidated condition, very in miserable position and condition, he is his old acquaintance, old friend, whose name was Niels Alof. Means because of similar face and out cut off his face, he realized that he is my friend, but it was not. He was not. He said, "How you do look?" Means what happens with you, okay, why you are looking like that and why you are wearing this kind of outfit. The man with the rat trap had never before seen the iron master at Ramjos and did not even know what his name was. And this explanation, these lines makes things clear that the strangers was quite unknown with the identity of the iron master. Means he was not acquainted with, okay, or never have met him uh, in his life. But it occurred to him that if the fine gentleman thought he was an old acquaintance, he might perhaps throw him a couple of kroner. But these strangers thought that if this master will think or is thinking that I am his, friend and colleagues or an old acquaintance, there may be a chances of getting some money. Krona was the currency of Sweden. Want to, therefore, he did not want to undeceive him all at once. Okay, and that's why he did not want to deceive him. So yes, God knows things have gone downhill with me, he said. You should not have resigned from the regiments. Means the master thought that he is my old acquaintance and we both were working okay in the same regiment. Regiment is actually a company, a kind of company, okay, a kind of a group of army or defense. Said the Iron Master, that was the mistake. If only I had still been in the service at that time, it never would have happened. And now he laments and regrets, okay, his decision that if I had been with you, okay, I never allowed you to resign from the post and you might have been in better position. Well, now means he was totally misjudging the strangers. Well, now of course you will come home with me, and this was the proposal request by the Iron Master that you are not going to sit here any longer. You will have to accompany me at my home to go along up to the manor house, and he received by the owner like an old regimental comrades. That, however, did not please the tramp. Yes, this is the question. Means he was very much suspicious, you know, guilty conscious. He thought that if I will go with the Iron Master, there may be a chances of taking my money. Okay, he was not thinking about the help. He was not thinking about the facility. He was not thinking about the, cooperations and everything that Iron Master wanted to give him, because he had never received such a warm welcome by anyone. He was not treated like this kind of, means he was not treated modestly by anyone in his whole life. So he was very much suspicious this may be a cold modesty, and that's why he was frightened and not willing to accompany the Iron Master at his home. Okay, this was his um, uh, thinking. No, I could not think of it, he said, looking quite alarmed. Means he was alarmed. Why he was alarmed? Because he was carrying 30 kronos, okay, in his pocket. So he was thinking that if I will accompany him, there may be one more chances that I will be just clutched and captured by the police officers. They might hand me over to the police. To go up to the manor house would be like throwing himself voluntarily into the lion's den. This here, lion's den refers to the prison. Okay, so he was thinking that I will be killed, I will be just prisoned. So he only wanted a chance to sleep here in the forge and then sneak away as inconspicuously as possible. His only wish and will is that he wanted to spend the night. Okay, he wanted to take shelter there and wanted to sleep for the night. And finally, in the early morning, he will just sneak away. Means stealthily, without informing anyone, he will just move out from there silently on his way. The Iron Master assumed that he felt embarrassed because of his miserable clothing. And now see the uh, understanding. Okay, see the judging, okay, nature of the Iron Master. He realized that because of the bad condition or because of the rag clothes, his colleagues, his old acquaintance, his old friends, his old comrades is not going to accompany me. This was his thought. Okay, this was his realization, that because of his bad condition, because of his miserable and pathetic condition, and because of his rags, clothes, he is not willing, okay, and he does not want to just accompany me. This was the realization of the Iron Master. Please don't think that I have such a fine home that you can't show yourself there. He said, Elizabeth is dead, as you may already have, okay, heard. Elizabeth is the wife of the Iron Master. And now he's giving explanation of his family background, that don't think that I have a good house, okay, and you cannot uh, live there. It is not like that. My boys are abroad, and there is no one at home except my oldest daughter and myself. Means he is telling about his family background. He's telling that my wife is no more, and my sons are abroad, and only my oldest daughter is living with me. So we are two there. Okay, we were just saying that it was too bad we didn't have any company for Christmas, and we both were discussing about this, that this Christmas we don't have anyone, okay, here as a companion to celebrate the Christmas Eve. Now come along with me, okay, and help us make the Christmas food disappear a little faster. Disappear means just enjoy. See the explanation. Because he thought that he was very much hungry, and he wanted the strangers whom he understand that he was my old acquaintance, okay, and my ex-colleagues, okay, ex-friend, misjudged completely. So he wanted, the Iron Master wanted, okay, that this man accompany us, okay, and celebrate this Christmas with us, because we don't have any companion in our big house. But the stranger said no, and no, and again no, and the Iron Master saw that he must give in, okay, and because of his saying no, that he was not willing to accompany the Iron Master, the Iron Master gave up the idea to just request uh, to him to just accompany, and then realize that I must send my daughter, okay, and ask her to request. One of my friend is sitting in the forge and not willing to accompany us. So when a lady will, a request, okay, he will not decline the request, okay. So this was the thing, this was the feelings, okay, this was the realization, and with this all he's moving back once again at his home, and then he's sending back his own daughter, oldest daughter. It looks as thou Captain von Stahel. This is the old acquaintance of uh, the Iron Master, Captain Von, and he misjudged that this stranger is actually Captain Von, but he was not. It was the misunderstanding. Okay. I prefer to stay with you tonight. Storm. He said to the master blacksmith, okay, and turned on his heel. Means now he's moving back, okay, and telling him that you please take care of this captain, my friend. But he laughed to himself as he went away, and the blacksmith, he knew him, understood very well that he had not said his last word. Means the Iron Master wanted to say something, but he did not say anything, and the stranger wanted to reply something, but he did not reply anything. It was not more than half an hour before they heard the sound of carriage wheels outside the forge, and a new guest came in. Just I said that it was the Iron Master, okay, who went straight to his home and then sent his, oldest daughter. So the daughter is coming with the carriage, okay, and this was heard by the strangers, okay, and the blacksmith. And a new guest came in, but this time it was not the Iron Master. He had sent his daughter, apparently hoping that she would have better powers of persuasion than he himself. And this was his understanding, that I, being a captain, okay, being a very army man, I'm very much rude, okay, I don't know the way of persuasion, way of convincing. And my daughter, okay, being a lady, she knows better persuasion than me. So if she will come here and if she will request him, there will be chances of just accompanying my ex friend, okay, at our house this evening, this Christmas Eve. She entered, followed by a velvet, okay, carrying on his arm a big fur coat. This was his beautiful attire. This shows that they were very much wealthy, okay, happy, and She was not at all pretty, but seemed modest and quite shy. The narrator is talking about the physical appearance of the lady. She was not very looking very nice, but she was very modest, okay, very humble, and at the same time quite shy. And this is the hallmark of the beauty, okay. Indirectly, he's saying that he was very beautiful. Quietness, okay, and modesty is the true hallmark or the greatest jewel of women, according to the psychologist. That the women should wear, if a jewel a women can wear permanently, and if they don't want their beauty to, should be faded away, so they always wear this true beauty, modesty and quietness, the hallmark of beauty. So this is the psychologist, okay, think, okay. So here the same case is here with the Edla Williamson, the daughter of Iron Master. We'll come to know about his name later. In the forge, everything was but seemed modest and quite shy. In the forge, everything was just as it had been earlier in the evening. The master blacksmith and his apprentice still sat on their bench, and iron and charcoal still glowed in the furnace. Means they were just, the blacksmith was working, and the stranger was getting warm. Okay, the stranger had stretched himself out on the floor, okay, and lay with a piece of pig iron under his head and his chest pulled down over his eyes. Pig iron means a refined kind of iron, okay. In order to warm up his body, in order to just comfort himself, stretched himself, okay, and just taking rest there. As soon as the young girl caught sight of him, she went off and lifted his hat, and see how modestly, how nicely she went into the forge, and she just lifted his hat. His hat refers to the hat of the strangers. The man was evidently used to sleeping with one eye open, and this shows his guilty consciousness. Okay, he never have slept, okay, nicely and peacefully in his whole life. He jumped up abruptly and seems to be quite frightened. And because of this, his nature, and he was frightened because he was frightened. Why? Because he was never treated, okay, very nicely. He was always beaten, okay, always humiliated, always teased, always scolded and chided. So the world was never kind to him, and that's why he was abruptly, very much frightened. My name is Edla Williamson. Now the lady is giving her introduction. Said the young girl, my father came home and said that you wanted to sleep here in the forge tonight, and then I asked permission to come and bring you home to us. See the way a persuasive narrator has already taken us in confidence that a woman have more sense of persuasion or convincing capacity than a man. So see the explanation how she is telling that my father went home and said that a man, means my friend, wanted to stay, wanted to take shelter, wanted to sleep in the forge. But I request you, means she is telling, but I request you that please you come with us, okay, and stay at my home. My father came home and said that you wanted to sleep here in the forest tonight, and then I asked permission to come and bring you home to us. I am so sorry, Captain, that you are having such a hard time. See the explanation, okay. See, even she does not know it was her father who said that the man who has sheltered himself in our forge is my old acquaintance, Captain Wall. Having such a hard time, she looked at him compassionately with her heavy eyes, and then she noticed that the man was afraid. And this was his understanding about the strangers, that he was very much afraid. Either he has stolen something, or else he has escaped from jail. This was his analysis, this was his explanation, this was his her explanation about these strangers, and she very quickly decided that this man has actually very much frightened and very much guilty conscious. This shows that he is an escapist. She thought and added quickly, "You may be sure, Captain, that you will be allowed to leave us, okay, just as freely as you came." See the lines how she has explained. And very modestly, very nicely, she said, "You are free. You may leave us, okay, the way you are joining us, the way you are coming us. Only please stay with us, okay, over Christmas Eve." She said this in such a friendly manner that the rat trap peddlers must have felt confidence in her. And now the strangers completely fell, okay, in the confidence of the girl, and now he was willing to accompany her and desired, wished to stay there, or given his consent to stay there to till the Christmas Eve. It would never have occurred to me that you would bother with me yourself, miss. Now he's talking with the lady. He said, "I will come at once." He accepted the fur coat which the velvet handed him, okay, with a deep bow. And see how modestly, how nicely the lady hand him, okay, gave him the fur coat, okay, warming clothes, very nicely bowing herself before him, because she thought, okay, that the man was the friend of his father, so he was similar to, okay, his her father. Threw it over his rags and followed the young lady out to the carriage, without granting the astonished blacksmith so much as a glance. Means he didn't look at the blacksmith, and the blacksmith was astonished, surprised. But while he was riding up to the manor house, he had evil forebodings. Means he was having some different kind of thoughts. Okay, why the devil did I take that fellow money? He thought. Now he was condemning, okay, himself, criticizing himself, criticizing the action he has performed, okay, that day. Now I am sitting in the trap and will never get out of it. And now he was going to stuck, okay, himself in this situation and not prepared to come out with this. This is his realization, okay, in thought. The next day was Christmas Eve, and when the ironmaster came into the dining room from breakfast, he probably thought with satisfaction of his old regimental comrade whom he had run across so unexpectedly. And now the man was very much happy, okay, to see his old friend, okay, at his home. First of all, we must see to it that he gets a little flesh on his bones. Means he wanted to serve him food, okay. He said to his daughter, who was busy at the table. And then we must see that he gets something else to do that, okay, than to run around the country selling rat traps. Means this was their wish, okay, about the strangers. They wanted to mend, they wanted to improve the condition of the strangers, and that's why they wanted the strangers to stay with them for a while, so that his condition should be improved. It is clear that things have gone downhill with him as badly as that. Means this shows that the condition was not favorable for the man. Said the daughter, "Last night I did not think there was anything about him to show that he had once been an educated man." "You must have patience, my little girl," said the father. See how uh, critical and rational the girl is, okay, in this story, because of the appearance, because of the thought, okay, because of the facial expression, because of the nature of walking and talking. She very quickly realized and found out that this man was never educated. So see the importance of education. What is the importance of education? Confident. Okay. Confidence is very much important. Or it is not the false confidence. Okay. Good confidence. Good confidence refers to coming out from within. It is not confidence showing that false, you are wearing, okay, a kind of false confidence for a short or temporary time. It was not like that. That shows confidence within. That is courage, confidence, and boldness. As soon as he gets clean, You must have patience, my little girl, said the father. As soon as he gets clean and dressed up, you will see something different. Means the father and daughter are talking okay together, and the daughter was thinking that her father has misjudged the man, but the father was very much confident that no, because of his condition, he has just become like that, hard or last night he was naturally embarrassed. The tramp manners will fall away from him with the rat trap close. He is telling that once he will just start living with us, okay, start dressing like us, start eating like us, he will gain all his confidence, okay. So actually, he was living in rags, okay, wearing the rags and eating very uh, less of his life less in his life, and the world was not very much kind towards him, and that's why he has become like that. So this was his excuse, okay. This was his explanation about the his older friend who was not actually. So these are the two questions I have given you. One is from the Anish Jung, The Lost Spring, and the second one is from Deep Water. You all will do okay in 150 words each, and thank you very much.